Hello, internet friends. Welcome back once again. Thank you so much for joining me here today. A little change of scenery for you here. This is a couple of training sessions that I had last week with my friend, Mr. Brandon Campbell, who was up in Seattle for work. He comes up here quarterly, I think, on a yearly schedule. And when he's here, we like to go to Seattle Strength and Power, get some bro time in, get some training sessions in. I love this gym. I think it's an amazing environment. The atmosphere makes things feel so much better than they may otherwise feel. Todd Christensen's gym and the whole crew of lifters that are there anytime I go up there. It's a great time, and you feel very welcome and you feel motivated to work hard and do your thing. But what I want to really talk about today is this topic that kind of is in my mind from these workouts, from some talks that I had with Brandon, and a little bit later in the video you're actually going to see some pretty intense milestones that I was able to find for myself, even though there was really no reason for them to. They didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense as to why they happened on the days that they happened in the way that they happened. And they're coming up right now, actually. What I really want to get into is the idea of managing your expectations, but also just developing this self-relationship with the way that you talk to yourself that is honest enough to help you redirect when you are in a situation that requires adjustment. If you're making mistakes and you're not taking care of yourself and you're making bad decisions that are at odds with your goals, it's important to be honest with yourself, not shifting blame to other people when you have control over certain factors. It's also important to learn to deal with acceptance, and something Brandon and I were both kind of dealing with, him to much bigger of a degree because he's 4,000 miles away from home, working the entire day, then coming in and training after working an entire day on a 4-hour time difference. Me from a 2-hour commute and moving a couple of training sessions around to try and make them work with our schedule. So we're both kind of dealing with some not optimal training conditions. But the important thing that we were kind of discussing with one another is how important it is to be forgiving with yourself about the things that you don't have control over, and then to still always commit to giving your best even if you don't have the highest expectations. And the lift you just saw right there, that 725 pause beltless double that I hit, is a 10-pound pause deadlift PR, plus it wasn't a belt, and plus it was an extra rep. And then I went on and hit this all-time deadlift PR, 750, still on a stiff bar. This is the bar that I'm using on my next competition, and there was more in the tank there, so I was really excited. This was a day earlier than my normal training session. It just exceeded my expectations. And I think the reason that that was even possible is because of this kind of commitment that I've been making to myself, where I'm not going to allow my expectations to determine my effort. I'm always going to give my best. And I've talked about this a lot in recent videos because it really is kind of a life shift. It's something that I have reminded myself of over years and years, but it's definitely permeating into other aspects of my life more right now and recently. And it's something that I'm trying to kind of share with more people. I'm trying to share this kind of perspective, this idea of acceptance of the things that you can't control, but the commitment to work at your best no matter what those things are. And I think it was something that was beneficial for us both, despite the fact that we were not really in the best, most optimal situation. We were still able to get the work done. Brandon was able to get his sessions done. He was hitting all his weights, and he's claiming the old man syndrome of saying, "Well, I'm creaky and this is going to be grimy and grindy." But I think his lifts ended up looking better than he felt like they did. Because he just was doing the work, whether you're expecting them to feel good or not, whether you're expecting them to go well or not. Your expectations don't limit your capability. It doesn't keep you from being able to perform once you've made the commitment to try your best. And so that's really kind of the take-home idea. And granted, we both did benefit from the motivational environment that we were in, but at the same time, no amount of motivation is going to make you capable of something that you are not otherwise capable of doing. You can't hype yourself up into doing something that you don't have the preparation or the capability to actually perform. And so it can be a tool, it can be beneficial, but I really encourage people to not be so dependent on the need for motivation to determine whether or not you're going to be able to put in the work that you need to put in to chase your goals and to reach for your goals. Develop that self-relationship where you can be honest and you can make assessments and decide when there's something that you could have changed and you could have improved. The kind of the internal factors, the thing that you have the ability to work on and direct in the future, but also recognize that you're just a person and that there are going to be external things, there are going to be obstacles that you don't have any control over, and you just have to make the most of the situation. But no matter what the situation is, make the commitment to give your best effort in every aspect of everything that you are doing, and you will be able to walk away from that without any regrets. And I think that's the most important thing. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this. Again, a huge shout out to Todd Christensen and everybody at Seattle Strength and Power for having Brandon and I. Huge shout out to Brandon for reaching out to me when he came up. It's always great to see you, brother. I truly look forward to the times we get to spend together again, hanging out, bro session, talking, all that good stuff. Quick shout out to the donators from the last couple of streams, and those should be up on screen right now. And the next live stream is going to be on Saturday, and we are getting ready to move over to Twitch, so that I don't know if I'll be streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time, but in the next couple of weeks we are going to transition to that other platform for the live streams, so that this channel can kind of stay more with these sort of the kind of content that people really came here for in the first place. So if you got to the end of this, please let me know and tell me what you thought. If you have any thoughts on this topic or these thoughts, these ideas, I'd love for you to share them with me in the comments down below, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.